All right, Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. And yeah, straight to the beans. All right, so now we can jump to Revelations. Now let's jump to Revelations, the 12th chapter, right? Because if you watch part 1, then you know we made it clear that understanding of the Bible is not given to everybody. It's not meant for everybody to understand the Bible. Okay? You can't just wake up one day and jump to Paul letters and think you can open up the book of Revelations because you got a church membership now and understand what's being said. No. We also established that there's multiple heavens. There is actually 4 heavens, man. Okay? There's 4 heavens. Oh yeah, we also made it clear that just because something or someone is evil, it doesn't necessarily make them an adversary of the Most High or out of the Most High's reach. Like they got beef or like they going to war, like, you know. So now let's break this down. This is Revelations chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Now, when Christians read this, most people, not even just Christians, you know, theologists, you know, all you so-called biblical scholars, when they read this, they take it like literally, like they literally think it's it was a war in heaven, in the third heaven where the Most High dwell, right? They think that the bad angels was fighting the good angels, and you know God was fighting Satan, and no. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Now, who's the dragon? Because the dragon isn't one person. That's what people don't understand. And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, and neither was their place found anymore in heaven. Here's the part. Here's the part that bugs them the fuck out, bro. This is the part that they all get confused at. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This is a stumbling block for people. They say, look, the angels, Satan and his angels fought against Michael and his angels, and they lost, and they was kicked out of heaven because they rebelled against God. So God kicked them out, right? And they also tie the whole story of the sons of God came down to earth, and you know the angels came down and had sex with the women, and they birthed giants. They tie all that together, bro. You feel me? When it's a huge misunderstanding. Now let's get the proper understanding. What is it talking about? The war in heaven. This is not talking about the third heaven. This heaven is talking about the sky. Okay? This is literally a prophecy of World War III. And we're going to prove that. Like, this is literally a prophecy of World War III. Right? But this part specifically, not specifically, but it's World War III, but it's also what they call the War Armageddon. It's Judgment Day. Yahweh Shah. Because World War III is going to be going on. People going to be fighting, you know. But also, Yahweh Shah and his angels are going to come back. And then all of the... Matter of fact, I'll rather the scripture explain it. First, let's get Matthew's. This is Matthew's, because World War III is prophesied in the Bible. Okay? Race wars... Judgment Day, all of that is prophesied in the Bible. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For a nation shall rise against nation. That's called a race war. Yahushua, who you call Jesus, is speaking about a race war that is supposed to come in the future. Right? In the near future for us, but back then, this was thousands of years ago. You feel me? Nation shall rise against nation. In Salah. And kingdom against kingdom. Right? And kingdom against kingdom. That's country against country. Because how they would break it down, because they twist the meaning of words, and you feel me? It's something called new speech, right? Where they take the meaning of words and then they make it mean something different. Like the word gay actually means happy, but now it means to be a homosexual. You understand what I'm saying? The word suffer means to allow, but now suffer means to go through pain and tribulation. Like, you see what I'm saying? So nation is actually the word that we will use today for nation would be race. So whenever the Bible mentions nation, it's talking about a race of people. Kingdom is how they use nation today. Because now they say nation, nationality is like where you live at, what country. When really, no, your nationality is your race. And the kingdom that is referring to is the country. You understand? So nation against nation, that's a race war. One people against another people. Kingdom against kingdom, that's a world war. That's a world war. So Yahushua is prophesizing about World War III. Right? Let's continue. And there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. So I just want to show you that it's prophesied somewhere else about World War III. Now let's let's get this. Let's read this. People don't know about this prophecy, bro. This one is deep. Like, it's very graphic and detailed. All right, this is 2nd Ezra, and we're going to start at verse 3. And I beheld, and this is a vision that the Most High gave Ezra, you know, concerning the second coming of Yahushua and, you know, all the mayhem that's going to take place. You know, World War III, race wars, and all that. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Remember, we read in Revelations that it should be a war in heaven. Michael and his archangels is fighting against the dragon and his angels. Saying the same thing. That man waxed strong. The man that's waxed strong is who the world ignorantly called Jesus. He has all his angels with him, right? And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth fire. And after I beheld, lo, there gathered a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So who's that multitude of men? That multitude of men is the dragon and his angels. The dragon and his angels. Right? They're saying the same thing. It's just, it's not much detail in Revelations chapter 12 verse 7 is given in parable because it's not meant for the average person to understand. Okay, but I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid and got durst fight. So when all these nations, right? Because you're gonna have the Russians, you're gonna have the China, Russia, China, Iran, America, all these countries, all these kingdoms, all these nations, right? When they seen Yahushua and his angels, when they seen them, which y'all know to be as UFOs, right, the chariots, they were scared. They never seen nothing like that in their life, ever. They seen it depicted in movies and they, you know, read about it in books and heard folklores and shit like that, but they never deliberately, visually seen it with their own eyes. So they was scared. But they love this world and they want this world to continue, so they still fought. Right? The Lord probably hardened their heart and made them think like they had a chance of winning. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, in a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. So he shot a beam from out of the chariot, right? That's the best way I can describe it. He shot a beam from out of the chariot and literally destroyed every kingdom that thought they was coming together to take down Yahushua and the angels with one blast, bro. One blast, they was done, and the only thing that was left was dust and the smell of smoke, bro. That was it. Nothing. You hear me? Finished. That's what Yahushua did. This is what it's saying. Even Ezra was afraid. He got the vision. He was like probably shooken up like, what the fuck? He never seen fighter jets, and because you know, like, this fight is happening. Remember, it was a war in heaven. It's happening in the sky. You feel me? They got their planes, their fighter jets, their missiles. They got, you know, all their little in the air weaponry. You feel me? Like their weapons of war in the air. And like Ezra never seen this before. Remember, this is thousands and thousands of years ago. Wasn't no jets and planes, and you feel me? All right, so now let's jump down. Let's jump to verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. Yahushua, remember Yahushua said that? Nation shall rise against nation. He's saying the same thing. One people against another. That is the race war. See, this is going to take place before World War III. Before the Day of Judgment, or what y'all call the War of Armageddon. This is going to take place before that. This is Jacob's trouble right here. Okay? In one realm against another. One realm against another. Okay? Because Yahushua is coming from a whole nother realm. He's coming from the third heaven with the hosts of heaven, with the angels, fighting against Esau and the rest of these nations. It's going to say it. Let's jump down. Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen which I shewed thee before, and then shall my son be declared. So we know it's talking about Yahushua, whom thou sawest as a man ascending, which we read about in verse 3. Check this out, verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. So when they hear the sound of Yahushua, when they hear the sound of Yahushua coming with his angels and his chariots, like it's going to be a sound like you never heard before. And that's also spoke about in different scriptures. When they hear the sound of Yahushua and the chariots, and World War III is going to be happening. And they're going to all stop fighting against each other, right? This country against this country, that country against. They're going to all stop and be like, you know what? We got a common enemy. Some of these people even going to think like it's an alien invasion. You feel me? They've been brainwashed and taught that, you feel me, it's been put in their face in the movies, and they haven't been taught. They taught that the chariots are UFOs. That is not angels in them, it's aliens in them. So some of these people gonna be like, we got a common enemy. We need to stick together to protect planet Earth. So they're gonna all stop fighting each other and come against Yahushua and the angels. Alright? Now, let's get one more scripture to solidify this, right? Let's get Isaiah. See, because matter of fact, let me finish this point first, then I'll make that last point. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Same thing we just read in the book of 2nd Ezra. He's coming with fire. Remember that fire, that big blast that killed that innumerable multitude? Remember that it said that the cloud or the place that he had graven was so big you couldn't even see the beginning or the end of it? That's a big ass chariot. That's the chariot. She shall come with a chariot. It's like a whirlwind. Right? That's how they're going to hear the sound of him coming. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. Remember, it's an innumerable multitude that's going to be killed by Yahweh and his angels. It just said, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They're saying the same thing. So this is the war in heaven. Let's go back to Revelations. You understand? This is exactly what Revelation chapter 12 is speaking about. Exactly what it's talking about. Revelation 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. They will no longer have power over the earth. Okay? And that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Because you got to understand, Satan is that spirit that drives, that powers up the so-called white man. Edomites, so-called white people, are the physical counterpart of Satan. He uses the white man. He uses everybody, but specifically, he uses the white man to do his bidding, bro. Just like the Most High uses everybody. He created everything, but he has a specific people who represents his righteousness. Satan uses everybody and influences everybody, but he has a specific people that represents his wickedness. That is the wicked Edomites. Okay. He was cast out into earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So Satan, well, Esau rather, and these other nations, they're going into slavery. They all eating good, living good right now, but the time is coming where the Most High said the kingdoms of the world will be his, and his kingdom is going to be set up forever. This is what this is talking about, bro. Satan does not have a kingdom. He does not have a place of dominion underground, or a place where he rule. Like, no, man. No. Satan works for the Most High. That's in Job, the 1st chapter. I don't want this video to go over 20 minutes, so you can check it out yourself. Job 1 and 6. 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. The Most High got everybody under his thumb, bro. Don't nothing move without his permission. Don't nothing happen in this earth without him green lighting it. We talking about the creator of all things. You understand? So, Lord willing, somebody was edified. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's a wicked world, man. Niggas better wake up or die in that sleep. You mad or not?